here today to talk about our penguin colony. We have had African penguins in our collection for close to 2 decades now at Tanganyika Wildlife Park, and we've been very successful with their breeding and ambassadoring. So when a facility unfortunately was closing down and reached out to us to take in their 11 penguins, we did not hesitate to say yes.
So by adding these to our collection, it increased our colony size quite a bit. So we are very fortunate enough to have an amazing African penguin program here at Tanganyika. We had, prior to acquiring these penguins, over between 60 and 70 birds when we were looking at acquiring them. Once we did, it put us into the 80s for how many penguins that we have here at Tanganyika. Our number changes quite frequently because we are actively breeding and hatching out penguin chicks, which is really awesome. Gives us a chance to increase genetic diversity within the species, as well as gives us an opportunity for ambassador animals. We really feel it's important here at the park to create that connection with our guests to the natural world, and being able to interact with these animals and not have a chance anywhere else to do so is just a huge part of what we do. So by bringing these new penguins in, it gave us the chance to have some different genetics introduced into our colony. They are extremely tactile and handleable by our keepers, and were used in ambassador programs and training programs at their previous facility. And we were able to get in contact with the staff that used to take care of them prior to coming to Tanganyika, and they were able to share personality traits, and maybe these penguins were kind of flirting and getting ready to pair up prior to leaving. So we made sure to give them that opportunity once they got here, and kind of pick up some of the training and the behaviors that the staff working on with them before they came to the park.
When we first received those 11 new penguins, we did have them in quarantine for quite a time, just so that we could make sure that they were healthy and settled in before introducing them to our colony here. We also were in direct communication with their previous veterinary staff, in communication with our own veterinary staff, so that we could transfer over all of those important medical records and husbandry information to make sure that they were integrated in a way that felt comfortable for them.
All the birds are very healthy, and we were able to integrate them into the colony fairly quickly after our vet evaluated them and gave us the all clear, and all the testing came back. And we were able to actually integrate them fairly easily. There wasn't a lot of issues. Our team is very capable and talented and has obviously a lot of experience managing this many birds and this big of a colony. And so we were able to use the setup that we have and gate individuals off and slowly introduce them, give them some visual contact, but with a barrier. And it didn't take very long to integrate them into the colony, and they're all now in one big group. They're getting along well, and they're getting to meet our guests. So it's been really fun to watch them integrate, and to watch our staff really kind of enjoy getting the new birds in and learning their personalities and getting to work with those new birds. They were very excited about it.
There's actually 2 of those 11 just next to me down here, Leo and Posey. Now you might be able to see the difference and spot them in our colony when you come to visit, because they still have different armbands that have their names on them. Those are the bands that they came with from their other facility. Because they're comfortable and used to wearing those bands, we haven't switched them out yet to our own system. And so they're more easily recognizable.
I think us being able to acquire these additional birds really kind of highlights some of our core values here at the park, things that we focus on as we operate as a team and do business, and kind of who we are at the core of our culture. Definitely to have a colony this large and bring that many birds into a well-established colony is something that is not easy to do, and was a big ask of our staff. They rose to the challenge. We go against the grain, have a core value called refuse to lose, and I think taking these birds in embodies that core value of doing something different. Just because something is hard doesn't mean we automatically say no. Just because it's scary and there's risk involved doesn't mean we're just automatically gonna say no. We're gonna do the best that we can with what we have, the knowledge, the skills. If we don't have it, we're gonna reach out and get it. So being able to work with the previous facility of where these birds came from helped to set us up for success and better plan for that. And so that helped our team know what it was going to be like when they got here, and the things that we would be able to do with them, be able to provide the best level of care possible. So I think bringing new birds into an already established large breeding colony is a scary thing, and our team rose to the challenge and definitely didn't refuse to lose. And even though they were apprehensive about it, once the birds were here, they were very excited.